That's why I love these songs. There's a bunch of these Ed Tyll theme songs. But I love that line we go right in on. You may not like what he has to say. And right away, I feel the show is a challenge to people, even when they have never heard the show. They go, what is this guy talking about? What's this theme song all about? What do you mean I may not like it? What do you know me? What do you know about me? Well, what if I like what Ed Tyll has to say? Oh, no, you may not like it. I'm telling you right now, you may have a problem with what this guy is saying. It's right there in the song. The song is very persistent at the end. When he just keeps saying he's Ed Tyll, he's Ed Tyll. Now I can't even defend him anymore, the theme song. He's just Ed Tyll. Can't even say anything on his behalf. All right, a podcast is fun when you got guys like this on the line. Alex Soto owns the Joke Joint in Summerfield, Florida. I am appearing at the Joke Joint this weekend. I am thrilled about it. I need 4 hours of stage time because I have a list of 56 bits that I want to perform for people. It's crazy, Alex. Do you know that personality type? There's some comedians. They're have just, piles and piles of material. There are other guys that are like, all right, man. So look, I got these 2 killer bits, man. Like they never miss. And you go, wow, you got it all bet on the 2 bits. And you go, oh, what do you got? I go, well, I got 63 items written down here. So on the 13th, I really am loaded for bear. Do you know the personality type that I am?
I believe we call it crazy outside of the comedy club, Mr. Tyll.
Yeah, clinically, you could just say I'm nuts. I'm a crazy person, but we want to doctor that up with some marketing.
Right.
If we can.
Here it is in a nutshell. Very crazy. Woo! Now I'm excited, man. We look forward to having you out this weekend.
I'm telling you, that's exactly that's how I look at it.
But before we get started, Mr. Tyll, I'd like to say that Ed Tyll is the voice of the voiceless. And from there on, we can continue because the voiceless,
yes.
You can never tell what we're saying is right or wrong if you don't listen.
That's right. And also, if you have laryngitis, this is your number one show. Anybody suffering from any kind of voice loss in any way, you got laryngitis, you got tonsillitis, we're right here. I'm good with all those drugs, antibiotics. You got to be careful. You don't want all the water tables to be poisoned. All right, good. So we start out on an excellent note. Well, this is the thing for me coming to your club. Your club at Joke Joint is what I call, now I didn't make this up, but in my opinion, among comedians, we will say things like, what's the room like at Joke Joint? And I will answer, it's a great room for comedy because it's a loud room. The audience is loud. The floor is loud. The walls make noise. I love a room. Now, New York Comedy Club is where I cut my teeth very first time I got up at a club. And New York Comedy Club, the old one, which is now gone, was the same way. The room would rattle when things are happening, and your room rattles, my friend. Shake, rattle, and roll, rattle and hum, whatever you got, whatever kind of rock and roll music you have, rattle is fantastic. Do you love it? Was that an accident, or did you make it come out that way?
No, my inspiration for entertainment in general, my thinking, the moment that moved me when I was a kid was Kid Rock coming out with the fur coat with the midgets on little people on tricycles and the fire breathers and the crazy antics. So I've always been the Porky's, I'm an 80s baby, so we do things big. Van Halen, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
you're
even though it's a small place, I like the word ruckus. We like to make a ruckus everywhere we go.
I like ruckus. Ruckus is good. Ruckus sounds like an island in Greece, right next to Crete, the island of Ruckus. What goes on there? Well, Ed Tyll is the reigning king, but he's passing it along to Alex Soto just now. Yeah, we should have an island.
Honor that you even said that. Clip that. Continue.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'll mark that down. 5 minutes, 22 seconds into the podcast. So, so I love what you do. I love the style of it. Now, I guess you are. I know you're a philosopher, and last time we talked, you have a lot of big ideas for the
Yes.
world. So I'll go right to it. I'm going to pinpoint one, then you give me your thoughts on the following point, okay? I have been saying to people, even before I ended the radio show, which is a couple of years now since I've done 5 days a week radio. It feels great to not do 5 days a week. Love it. But
Right.
I miss the medium. It's changing. But even back then, I felt a palpable need for laughter, cut-ups, not pranksters, but merry pranksters, not like,
Sure.
I don't want to set a car on fire and scare a woman, then the car's not real. That's fun. I get that at the barber shop. A guy puts that on while he gives me a haircut. But I want real interactive mischief. I want
Absolutely.
right. I want hijinks. I want going nuts. So I said to my old comedy buddies before you and I met, Bob Bell, Matt Nagan, I said, this is what's missing. The craziness that's harmless crazy. It doesn't
Right.
do it. It doesn't break any dishes. It doesn't start any problems, but it is out there. And, yeah. So now entertainment needs a comeback after the COVID. I mean,
Boy, I
these
agree
poor
with that.
bars, man. Oh, my God. Bars, clubs, everybody got whacked. So there are two direct needs for this. So I say to you now, what are your thoughts on the need for it and the execution of it? Like me, I'm reveling in this. I can't get enough shows. I'm doing old people assisted living facilities because I love them. And I'm doing crazy places like yours and the Whiskey Cellar in New York because people need this. But enough of my opinion. What are your thoughts on this?
I think of it I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm breaking it up immediately into three pieces. Piece number one, we harken us back to the old days with the jester and the muse. We were the person that could speak for the king because the king was too above that.
Right.
And we had to bring the information that sometimes would hit you in the gut.
Yes.
But it makes you laugh and think.
Okay. All right.
One.
Here we go. So now you got me. I have to mention this right away.
Of course.
There's a bit I'm working on that I think is doing just what you're saying there. In other words,
Absolutely.
that's the model, okay? There was a Woody Allen movie where he dresses up like the court jester,
Yep.
and he's running around with that bell on his hat and all. Okay. So the other day, Taylor Swift and this Travis, a football guy, they're on the
Chelsea.
TV. I love this, right? I mean, it's a love. Come on. Look at Ben Affleck and J-Lo. That's a nightmare. That's every relationship I've ever been in, by the way. Those are Ben Affleck is having my life, only he's rich and he's young. But that's the life. But the other one, Travis and Taylor Swift. Okay. So I'm saying the other day, do you ever wonder, this is to your point about being amusing, about being the court jester. So I'm sitting there with the king, and I say, Your Highness, have you ever thought about Taylor Swift's vagina?
Yes. Continue.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that would right away catch the king off guard. Right
really?
away.
I'm sorry, 'cause
hoping.
I was admiring.
I'm
I was
hoping.
thinking
So
about
in
her
other-
vagina. Continue.
Okay, well, there you go. And see, that's the thing. Now, here comes the curveball. And here's what I think that vagina is saying right now. I think, first of all, the vagina is saying, why is everybody talking about us? And why are we the subject of so much attention? And you say, well, who are they? The two labia are talking to each other. One labia say, what is happening? How famous is she getting? I mean, we were on the couch of the Today Show 15 years ago, but I mean, she had us out here tonight for 3 hours. What exactly is going on? And then the other labia says, well, I'm having a memory now. Do you remember that John Mayer? Remember when that John Mayer guy was all over the two of us? And the other labia goes, oh, yeah, no, I remember. You know, I always felt bad for him. And the labia says, why? Say, well, you know, if he if he plays guitar like he was working us over, his career is on the way down. So this is what I mean. In other words, like, to me, the conversation that Taylor Swift's vagina is having with itself, I think, is that kind of court gesturing. I don't think anybody else. I don't think anybody else came up with a Taylor Swift's vagina said, and you know, so that's.
I would say this about that. I think John Mayer, the only thing positive that's coming out of that story is John Mayer's probably glad he was there before Kelsey.
Right. Well, I was just going to say, you know, John Mayer, he was really early on everybody. That was, I think he had the statutes on his tour bus. You know, he would know the legal age of majority of a state. Then he would play in all the states that got him the hottest babes. Because he's like, you know, John Mayer, I think, actually taught Matt Gaetz how to run for Congress. Isn't that, I believe they're in the same category. I mean, you know, I don't.
I love it.
I don't travel in those circles, but, you know, Taylor Swift's vagina is a lot smarter than people think it is. You know,
yeah, I don't travel in Taylor Swift's vagina either,
right.
So I get it.
That's
I know
it.
exactly what you mean. I can relate.
You got it. You got it. And, you know, personally, I'm a little fed up with the whole scene of music. I don't know how you feel about music. Who are your music heroes? You mentioned Van Halen before. So you David Lee Roth man, or who's your dude?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'm a next generation Star Wars guy because of my age. So I'm a Sammy Hagar Van Halen guy. I don't want anybody to be mad at me, but I grew up.
God, you crazy!
I grew up with Van Halen with Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar.
The front guy.
I don't know what I'm going to do with you now. We're going to have to change the name of the club or something. Sammy Hagar, is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, listen. Then you know what? I'm not going to pick on you. You got enough.
Well, don't pick on me because I was just not alive during the day.
Come on, no, come on. You have enough burden with the music you like. You don't need me to tease you about it.
But actually, if you want to get even worse with the kind of music I like, because I'm from the central part of the state, I actually like country rap. I like Jelly Roll.
Country rap. See, there you go. Yeah. Now, I'm so old that I went to a radio convention in the 80s, and they put out a parody of the future of radio when radio goes, you know, crazy. And the parody had a country rap imaginary radio station. You actually grew up to like what that's the world we're in, man. This is the way it all flashes by like a train ride. Yeah.
But, well, you know, the joke about country rap is, you know what they call it?
What?
Crap. Country rap.
You know, that's the thing. See, right, you know, I'm the other guy on all of this, and it's insane. All right. So, yes, exactly what you said. And I remember, do you remember, you must have been so young, but maybe you remember labeling music because it was so dangerous that kids were not allowed to buy it. Do you remember this?
For sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sure.
And what do you remember? What was labeled? Public Enemy?
Listen, I remember going to a class in public school about devil worshiping and rock music.
Where'd you go to school? In with the Flintstones in Bedrock?
Right here in Central by God, Florida.
What town? What school?
An hour south of Gainesville, right here where the choke joint is.
All right, so go ahead, name the suspect. What school taught you about devil worship?
High School, Marion County Public School System.
My God,
they were talking about Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue, and these were all the bands. So imagine what my mother thought when she found out that everything I was listening to was horrible, and, you know, Iron Maiden and all that good stuff.
Let me ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
But then I switched over. I made her feel real good and just switched over to gangster rap when NWA came out. So instead of worshiping the devil, we're selling keys and killing people.
Okay.
But it's all good because it's just the angst of youth.
Well,
this
is what I mean. You know, like that's the thing, right? Right? It's hard for the older folks to understand how the young people express their angst. Isn't that right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, but you didn't want anybody's head cut off or put it in a bucket like some kids took demonic, what do you call it? Accused music, right? Accused music that the devil, and they would go ahead and commit crimes with that. You don't have any other, because there was a cult that came through Marion County. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
It was led by you remember the cult with the girl?
And you know what was messed up was one of the guys, the main guy, his last name was Soto.
Uh-oh, is that right? So you
and everyone calls me thinking I had a cousin that went off the reservation, you know?
That's funny. That's like being called Manson back in the day, right?
Exactly,
your last name is Manson.
Exactly.
Or in the old days, Lee Harvey Oswald. You know there was another Lee Harvey Oswald somewhere on planet Earth at that time.
Oh, man. Can you imagine all the Adolfs that were like, WTF, man?
Yeah. Hey, you know something? It's funny, right? We haven't talked about this, but I got an opinion the other day from someone. It's not my opinion. I would love this opinion to be true, but I'll let you size it up because this is our general category. Self-expression and what we were just talking about, right? Censorship and labeling. All right, so you know the television show TMZ with the Harvey?
Okay.
Yeah. He says that the cancellation era, the era of canceling people, performers, because they made a joke about Gaza, because they made a joke about 9/11, because they did something on stage creatively, but it was so bad that they had to be punished, and you can't work here again, and you're not on my TV show and my network. He says that era is over, that was true years ago. Feels like it was 2 minutes ago. But I'm asking you, and here's the example. I think the example to critique. Is Chappelle limited in any way? I think of him, why I just arbitrarily. He's the apex, I think. Maybe Kevin Hart. Who's going to get the biggest comedy crowd, the biggest paycheck? One of those two guys, right? I think Seinfeld is a little bit, not the cutting edge, but Chappelle.
Right.
Okay. So is a guy like Chappelle 100% free, or that's ridiculous? No one is ever 100% free, even if Richard Pryor was alive. They'd be giving him a hard time. So what's the answer on that? Or I should say, what are your thoughts on that, Alex, as a club owner, as a performer, and as a citizen, educated up there in Marion County? Tell me what you're looking at here. Give me the 411 from your point of view. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think Dave Chappelle has transcended from comedian to, prophet. I think he's, on another level where he can be, he's almost like a zealot now as far as, I think he's got such a following now. But I also believe that there are two different realities. One is the reality that we live in, which is we go to work every day, 20 hours a day, we grind and we do what we do. And then there's this cancel culture that lives online. And the only thing that I can guesstimate with the cancel culture that lives online is that it doesn't seem that a lot of them are in my area, because we're all a bunch of
all right, but we're drifting too far. We got to get to the core. Yeah. Are the big names free or not? Or is even Dave Chappelle going to get a visit backstage? By the way, Dave, before you go on tonight, there's a couple of things in your act that we had some letters. We'd like you to avoid that. Or, oh, my God, you can't go in there and talk to Dave Chappelle. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think there's already clubs in place that are set like, hey, this is a PG-13 room only. So you're going to have to, clean up your act if you want to perform here. Or I've had comedians that what I call transcend the bubble, meaning they can do anything they want and their rabid fans will follow them. Do I personally think
that's what I'm waiting for. I'm trying to get your personal, you're the umpire. Right. Make a call here. Yeah.
Right. I'm a freedom of speech guy.
Right.
And I support that, and I believe in it as an artist. However, there are some things that I, as a club owner, would rather not be messed with.
Right.
I don't like blood, guts, and gore. I don't like any of that. I'm not a big fan of the devil, personally. I'm not a big fan of suicide. And also, I don't like people who call a bunch of people in my room, you guys are about to die, because I don't think they want to hear that. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So, but that's circumstantial. That's based on
Correct.
circumstances. So,
Right.
if-
Outside of that, I don't
Yeah.
think that there should be any. I
Yeah.
think everybody should come with the intention of listening, laughing, absorbing,
Right.
and agreeing or
Right.
not agreeing with what they hear.
Right.
But I don't think there's any reason to make any kind of fuss about it.
That's and here's what I think I learned from even the old guys, Jack Carter, Alan King. These were the guys on the Ed Sullivan Show when I was a kid.
Sure.
That you could pick any subject, but if you pick a highly sensitive subject that you know is inflammatory, then that's part of your job to
Right.
manage that. You've got to perform that in a way that you don't set the room on fire and alienate everybody just because
Right.
you want to touch a topic. So if you're going to touch right now there's a lot of this. Do you do any material on Israel and Gaza? Right away. Yeah, I was in New York. All the young comedians. So what do you do, man? Do you touch it? It's like radioactive. And I said, well, I do. I have an Israeli war, Gaza joke. What? What do you? And I go, well, there's a lot of hatred and rage in that region right now. And no matter who you look at, the rage that you see in people's eyes, I say, it reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. My ex, right, and then I go into a whole thing about how, our apartment was like the Gaza Strip and all this.
Oh, my God, that's so funny.
Right? So it's got nothing to do with it, but the kid was, he's like, wow, oh, wow, I see what you're doing there. It's not really about God. I go, right, it's not about Gaza, it's about my girlfriend. But
The space between the kitchen and the bathroom is the Wailing Wall. I got you.
You got it, right? The bathroom door.
Yeah.
The bathroom door is the Wailing Wall. What are you kidding? How many times she's been throwing herself against the... So that's what I like. I that's kind of Johnny Carson approach. You're a big fan of Carson.
Right.
We're doing that show
Oh,
on
my
Sunday.
God.
Yeah, that was his
One of the
thing.
best.
That was his thing.
One of the best.
He
And also,
yeah.
too, real quick, if you took, because I love the old clips. I love the YouTube old clips. If you take the clip of, I believe it was Bob Hope running the line down of the Cubs one year back in the early 80s, and every person, if it was a Mexican guy, and he would roast them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
If you watch that, if that was shot today,
Yeah.
it would be more controversial than a transgender joke from Dave Chappelle.
Well, exactly. See, right. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that one. That's another red hot subject. Oh, my God. So when do you do any tranny Now, I have a tranny joke that got groaned out at a club in Fort Lauderdale. And it only got groaned out by one girl. Everybody else was okay with this joke because it's silly.
Right.
It's a stupid joke. It's a word play. There's no meaning to it at all. But it did have the word polyamorous in it. So that right away made it a serious issue for the girl in the back of the club.
Was this in New York or in Florida?
Oh, this is Florida, Fort Lauderdale on this one.
All right.
Yeah, Fort
I
Lauderdale.
would question, first of all, define polyamorous. That's the first thing I would ask any Floridian that gets in a bunch of offended at any joke. Define what you're offended of.
Well,
Because
see,
I
that's the
question
thing.
Florida because of
Right.
my public school upbringing. Continue.
Well, that's the joke. The joke is it's a make-believe definition. I don't know if you
Right.
remember Reader's Digest used to have definitions. They would take a real word and they would put a fake definition on it, and that was a definition, like
Gotcha.
Daffy Duck, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Definition. Love it.
So I said, so that's the joke. The joke is me playing naive. I don't know what she means, and I go. I said we're at a party. We're in the backyard of a mutual friend, and I say, "Oh, hi, how do you do?" And she goes, "Oh, hi, how do you do?" She goes, "I'm polyamorous," and I go, "Oh, hi, I'm Ed Tyll." Like I thought her name was Polly. Amorous. I go, my name.
Absolutely hilarious.
There you go.
Absolutely hilarious.
Okay, and then she goes, "Oh no!" She goes, "I am polyamorous," and
Imagine at our age, somebody, the first thing out of their mouth is, "I'm polyamorous." I would have no idea. I would honestly think their name was Polly.
Well, so I say to myself, I go, "Oh my God, she bangs parrots." That's what this is. She has sex with
That's
parrots.
hilarious.
Polly, you don't get,
I love
I'm
it.
saying to myself, Ed Till, you got to get hip, man. They're naming all these categories without you. You got to jump in there. You got to know what she's talking about. Banging a parrot. I'm like, right? That's innocent. In other words, when that joke is over, nothing happened.
I love it.
Yeah. Right. Polyamorous, just banging a parrot up. And I say to myself, my God, the poor parrot. Or is the parrot into it? I'm going to look it up.
Right.
I'm going to go on Wild Kingdom. It turns out that the parrot does have a sexual attraction to, and the parrot is coming on to her, and she really didn't want to bang the parrot, but at the end, she couldn't resist. I love it. So anyway, that's what I feel is the way to go.
This and many more bits are coming this Saturday. We're excited, brother.
Oh yeah, no, Saturdays. I'm telling you, I always do a set list. Like I always used to do a radio list. I used to have a radio list every day, 20 items, 19 items for a 3-hour show. I could pick anything I want along the way, and whoever I would discuss the list with, and chat them up before the show, that would be something that would never go on the show.
Right.
Once I shot it in the hallway, then I was done with it. So the things I did on the air were always things that I did not put on the list that I was thinking about. Yeah. So anyway,
I can only imagine the amount of material that gets bumped out for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
In real time.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny you're saying that. On Facebook, they send you your memories every once in a while. They say, oh, this is what you put up like 7 years ago. It's what you put up 5 years. Okay, I will get a list, like I just said, of 19 items for a show. It's got the date. It's got my name on it. It's got everything all over. And I look at it and I go, wow, you never did anything on that list. And now it's a memory of an unused list. It's not just an unused list. It's a memory of an unused list, yeah.
That is so good. There's a lot of that's a lot of information that, boy, I tell you, that's chapters of discussion right there.
There you go. There you go.
The unused list. My goodness,
unused list. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, I'm excited about Saturday night's going to be fantastic. Let's run it down. When you arrive, what time do the doors open? What time is the food? What time is the show? Walk us through. Yeah.
So the joke joint on Saturday night, we have the show starts at 8, and the doors open on Saturday night at 6. We have a Juilliard graduate musician who performs on Saturdays from 6 to 7:45 p.m., and they will be performing a free concert just to entertain people when they come in. We encourage people at the joke joint to come at least 45 minutes early if they can, because we offer free dinner every night. We call it a 5-star feel for a 3-star deal. So they're going to come in, they're going to have some food. It's psychology 101 for me. It's not about open the doors at 8 and the show starts at 8:10. Right. You have a couple drinks, you talk to your neighbor, you start knocking down your walls, your vulnerability comes up, and you prepare yourself for an experience, because that's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, no, I love the sound of all of that. Now, is the menu pre-announced? Or do you close your eyes, surprise, or how does that work? The food itself, because it's dinner, is what I saw.
Dinner.
So yeah, go ahead. Tell me what's a typical dinner? What are we having?
So if everybody who hears you doesn't have a personal connection with Latin American people that live in the area, you ought to go find you one. So I'm fortunate in my plaza where our show is, there's a Cuban restaurant on the other side of my wall. And I'm half Cuban, and when the old man found out I was Cuban, he came and saw my plate, and he kind of big-uncled me. Wow. So he has a rotisserie chicken machine, the one that spits them out like Publix.
Absolutely.
So he basically gave me a good deal, such a good deal, that he basically makes a baked chicken dish 4 ways, either with green peppers and onions, with a salsa base, or a marinara. And he always gives it to us, one of the 4, with yellow rice on the side. We were doing like fuller menus, but we had a bunch of Indian doctors come in one day and they didn't eat pork. And we had some pork out, and I kind of saw that as, man, I don't want to offend anybody before they even walk in the door.
Wow.
So we just switched it to chicken. So basically every single night We get a full dinner, hot meal with baked chicken served 4 ways with yellow rice on the side.
Beautiful. Now, how do cocktails work? You got a full bar, and you order your cocktails, or tell me about the bar, because I'm a
we have it's a very interesting system.
My fans drink a lot, and 2 of them said, "So, what's the story with the bar?" I said, "Well, he's got a full bar." Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So what we did is we got it. Actually, we have beer and wine and non-alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
And what we do is we basically have it set up in 2 basic packages. One of them is entry and 2 drinks is $20.
Okay.
And entry and 4 drinks is $25.
Okay.
And then entry and all you can drink is an upcharge to $35, and then it comes with a lampshade put on your head.
I was going to say, so that's I have a couple of buddies, that's their best way to go. Swipe the card, 35, and they don't have to talk about it for the rest of the evening.
And what we did was, in order to keep up with that concept of a 5-star feel for a 3-star deal, I've been doing shows all over Central Florida for years, and I came across this guy who claims he's from the Midwest. Yeah. And in the way it was and where he was at, you would get checked in the beginning, and they hand you basically drink tickets. That 1 ticket replaces for a drink. So if you buy 2 drinks, you get 2 drink tickets. If you buy 4, and if you drink all you can drink, you get a bracelet.
Right.
And what you do is you will then go up to the bar and swap out for the drink, or you wave me down because I'm headless chicken all night, and I'll go get you the drink. Yeah. But the thing is by doing that, we keep the staff down, which keeps the cost down.
Yeah.
And then the food is buffet style.
Right.
I don't tell people it's all you can eat, because the rednecks around here figured that it was going to be off rip. So they're over there piling the stuff on. Yeah. But it's a tremendous like I said, it's a tremendous value for the evening. Yeah. And for me, because this isn't my only thing I got on my redneck diversified portfolio, all I need people to do is support it. It's a numbers game. If everyone comes at the same time 2 or 3 nights a week, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, it sounds fantastic. So, 35, just swipe your card for 35 and tip in cash. I always say that to my friends. Tip in cash. Don't put it through the card. What else? All right, so I think we're good. So one more time to recap. Doors at 6. What happened at 7:45?
So the 6 to 7:45 is a concert with
That's it.
A lady who graduated from Juilliard Music School.
Oh, yeah. What's her name? Can we say her name? What's her name?
Her name is Doreen Daniels.
Doreen. And, so Doreen plays what now? She plays. I just want to go slow. She does. She plays
like
saxophone.
5 different instruments. She plays the violin. She plays the trumpet. She plays the guitar.
Okay.
And if you book her in advance, she'll drag a whole damn drum set into this thing. She's a wild one.
Wow.
But she's a beast, and she's been on the road driving 35 years, gig to gig, just like all of us.
Oh, man.
And now this area, you know, because you've been out here, there's so many retired people. We got a plethora of entertainers that were Vegas-based, were Juilliard graduates.
Right.
So when it comes to music and entertainment like that, we do great stuff week in and week out. And then on Saturdays and on other days of the weekend, depending on how we schedule it, we bring in monster acts like Ed Tyll, you know, this Saturday at 8 p.m.
Hey, listen, you just had one of my heroes on there. You had J.J. Walker. That guy,
Walker.
He is a machine gun, man.
Yeah. He's like the what was it? The Silence of the Lambs. You bring him up on a gurney with a mask and a straitjacket. You undo the straitjacket, take off the mask, and you set him on the stage, and he destroys for an hour. He was crazy, man.
No, he is. He's wild, but I love him because I've followed his career since I was a kid. Yeah. No, he's fantastic. He used to be
50 plus years on the road.
Yep. He's amazing. Well, that's what the club is all about. It's about authentic, kick-ass entertainment, and everything you described about the dinner and about the opening with the Juilliard lady, Doreen. People are starting to get a feel that it's not just another cookie-cutter comedy club, which I hate to say it, you know, I feel bad for the cookie-cutter guys. I think the cookie-cutter guys are having a hard time competing, but what you're doing, I like a lot. So anyway, doors at 6. Now, are we allowed to say anything about the flea market? Because I'm pretty excited. I told all my friends that I'm appearing at the
Yeah.
flea market.
At the flea
on
market,
behalf
ladies and gentlemen.
on behalf of the joke joint. I haven't done a flea market in 15 years. I love a flea market. I would,
Yeah.
in the old days, I broadcast the whole show out there. They'd set you up.
I
They
love
put
it.
you at a table all day. You got babies and grandmas and grandpas, and that's my scene, man. So tell the audience a little bit about the flea market, where it is, what it's called, when we're
Right.
going to be there. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just a mile and a half north of my club on 441 is one of the nation's largest running flea markets. It's called the Market of Marion, and it's been around forever. It's got over 1,000 booths, and I'm a nostalgia guy. I'm 50 years old, and and to me, I know, I'm so young, Ed. I get it, but I'm at the age now where I'm looking both ways, the future and the past.
Sure.
And as
me.
a patriot, Ed Tyll, as a patriot, there is nothing more American and nothing more grassroots for an entrepreneur than to have the ability to start in the flea market. You learn how to bark. You learn how to interact with all different types of people. You learn how to deal with crowds, with heat, with electricity cutting out because the thing stopped, bugs biting you, and what you end up with is a better appreciation for what we can do with what we want, And this particular flea market, whether people are there to walk around to get their morning breakfast down or they're buying stuff, we average about 150 to 200 people crossing through the place that I booked for this weekend for us to talk to people at every 5 minutes.
All right, so again, I'm an out-of-towner, but I'm learning.
Yes,
I'm learning your area. So where is this flea market? You said a mile or so, but give me cross streets that people might recognize. Near where and where?
Absolutely.
What and what? Yeah, go ahead.
The address is 12888 US 441 in Bellevue, Florida. It is 2 miles north of the joke joint, 13685 US 441 in Summerfield.
Got it.
And
now, you got a
huge, it's like the redneck Disney for around here, man. We go hard in the paint for our flea market.
Listen, you know what? It's a great American tradition, the flea market. That's how you do it when you got 3 kids. Listen, what are the cross streets for the club and the cross street with 441 for the flea market? What's the crossroad?
I believe the same road. It's 110th, and it literally divides my club and the Market of Marion, because the Market of Marion is only a mile and a half north of me on 441. So it's at the crossroads of 110th and 441.
110th,
and you just GPS Market of Marion, and it'll take you right there.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there probably between 11 and 1.
Right.
And basically,
when would people see me? When are you putting me on display at the flea market? If they want to come by,
I'm going to pull you out on the
hi.
gurney and unstrap the straitjacket and take the mask off and set you loose from 11 to 1.
11
and
to
if,
1.
If we got a ton of people and we're having a good time, we'll
You're hilarious. 11 to 1. That means I got to be up before 11. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to bring my sleeping pills. Excellent. All right. Well,
that's so funny. Obviously, they don't know Ed Tyll gets up at 4 in the morning because his energy level is through the roof. So let's not get too crazy.
There you go. So, Market of Marion. And this is Saturday in the daytime. Now, the market itself probably opens up early. When I go to flea markets,
it's like from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., but I was asked them, and they said from 11 to 1,
11 to 1.
That lunch hour is when it's the busiest.
That's big foot traffic. Now, that's you're also going to have, is Doreen performing at the flea market also?
No, she's, because these people are all booked. I ended up...
Yeah, what'd you do for the flea market? Yeah, go ahead.
Right. I have a saxophone player coming to perform with us. And
that's it. Thank you. Yeah.
He's been working with me for years.
Good.
He is now in music college. He was ranked in the top 100 saxophone players in his age group in the world.
In his age group?
And
what is his age group? Yeah, what age group is he in?
Right now, well, that's a funny story, because when he first started working with me, he was about 15 years old.
It's a funny story.
And
what age group were you just referring to when you said he's among the top 10 in his age group? Yes. Yeah.
When he was 15, 16 years old, he was ranked in the top 100 on Earth through whatever program with the school.
Okay.
And he's a prophetic sax player. And at the time when he first started working with us, he was technically too young to be there.
Uh-huh.
So we used to jokingly call him underage sax.
Got it.
And now he's a 19-year-old student full-time in Tennessee, but he's home for the summer. Yeah. And now we call him Ryan Thurgolin, consensual sax.
Got it. Oh, wow, that's funny. I like that handle. Good handle on that.
And he's brilliant. He's handsome. He's amazing. And he'll be playing while us two old guys are passing flyers out.
Yeah, just keep your hands off this kid. What do you mean he's handsome? What the hell do you care?
Oh, hey, listen, hey, the ladies love him. I gotta sell everything we got, man.
That's good. Absolutely right. No, you got to get that inventory moving, baby. The girls love a cute guy. Get him out there. All right. So again, the flea market is the Market of Marion. It is Saturday morning that we're there, 11 a.m. Until 1. The joke joint on 441. Now, you got to go slow with that long address. Because you gave. So right now, give me the digits slowly on 441. Go ahead.
Very good. The joke joint is at 13685
All right, go slow.
US.
Hold on, just go say. Hold on, just the digits now. Nothing else. Just 13.
685. 13685.
That's the one. Hold on. We just got to memorize that, kids. Right now, 13685. Everybody, 13685. Why? You're going to put this in your GPS, 441, US 441. Now, the Market of Marion is just a mile north, correct?
Correct.
That's it. So I'm not even going to give them digits, but the club is 13685.
That is correct.
All right, beautiful. So we got it memorized. All right, so 11 a.m. at the market and 6 p.m. Now, what does happen at the club, say, Sunday night? You're keeping me around. So what is your plan, your diabolical plot for Sunday night entertainment? What are you thinking?
My plan is to have a sit-down conversation with you as we unveil our brand-new 3-camera system that we just had installed in the club, which will be the groundbreaking, the first shot so that we can start, by the time you come back around, we're going to be having full-blown television production. We're going to be doing a Johnny Carson-style late-night show, which is what you and I are going to be doing on Sunday. And then we're going to be doing that a couple times a month on Sundays. And then we're also going to be doing like American Bandstand style shows with ballroom dancing and Latin sip and swing. We're going to have live music recordings, and we're going to have a pay-per-view model so that when J.J. Walker comes back around or Ed Tyll comes back around, we'll be able to sell another 1,000 tickets and people will be able to watch it at home,
You're so funny. I love all this. This is, you're the kind of club owner I like. We had clubs in my neighborhood when I was a kid. They weren't comedy clubs, but they were bars that had entertainment. And the bars that packed the local guys, it was 25-cent beers when I was a kid. 25 cents. The guy would give you a cold one there. And live entertainment. You've got that going. You've got the old school tradition. I love it. Looking forward to it. Now, the easiest way to get a reservation for Saturday night is simply to call you. I've been putting your phone number on everything, but I didn't say this until now. They could probably text you also and just say, hey,
absolutely,
I want a ticket. I want to because you don't want to jinx anything, but it's limited seating. I mean, this place is not 500 seats. So if we get a surge, because I'm a little bit of an outlaw in the free speech department for some of your older folks up there. They remember me. I was a gunslinger, a tongue slinger, or whatever you want to call me, back in the day. So I know there could be some old guys. Oh, I remember this guy. Oh, let me tell you. And then right away they'd be, you know what? My husband listened to him. I couldn't do it. He's very antagonistic. My husband was like, he stand up for what was right there, honey. So that crowd, I just want you to know, limited seating. They should call you. The phone number, I believe it begins with a 352. Doesn't it? Right.
So we do it the old-fashioned way. We have every option for every demographic. So you can order tickets online at www.jokejoint.tv. You can also call and make, crazy thought, a free reservation at 352-871-0909. And you can also text it because the business line is also the cell phone for the company. So, and we basically are adamant about taking reservations, exactly like you said, because there is limited seating. It's only a club that holds 100 people. And it's also... for the head count, because of the dinner, I want to be able to make sure everyone gets fed. You know what I mean? I don't want to run short on food. So it's important but here's the deal. Like any good Baptist, if you show up unannounced, I'll still squeeze you in. So.
Right, speaking of squeezing in, big scandal in the news today. I don't know if you saw this in the news this morning. Clarence Thomas from the Supreme Court caught in bed with Shaka Khan.
Really?
No, I just made that up. Wouldn't that be funny?
I was going to say, who's the winner? Who's the winner, Clarence Thomas or Shaka Khan?
Well, I don't know. I can't see. The whole bed is dark. I mean, I can't see any... I can't find I can't find either one of them. But I'm glad they found each other. Because he had to break up with the blonde. I don't like that blonde woman manipulating Clarence Thomas because they know the black guy's going for the blondes. That's all right. Yeah. He needs Shaka Khan. So that was my, I just thought I would share that urge with you. That's from the bottom of my heart. All right,
and
Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call mental illness. Thank you, Ed Tyll.
I would just get, listen, you could call it mental tillness if you want to. It doesn't
Listen, man, you know, you brought up something. I don't know how much time we got. Cut me at any time. But you brought up something earlier when you said comedians can go and say something simple about nothing and be hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you roll in with a 57-point list that you have memorized in your head.
Yes.
Boy, I'm telling you what, man. If that isn't more, we're going to need to expound on that on another show because I had a guy who would book me to do comedy shows, right? And I would come in and I would ask him, where am I at on the list? And he would stick his hand in the pocket and pull out 5 tiny wads of paper.
Yes.
He would open up. 4 of them were bills for money, and 1 of them was the list. He pulls it all the way out gently. Right. You're 4th on the list, and in front of me, balls it up again into a tiny little ball and puts it in his pocket. And I thought to myself, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And would you know that's not even the half of what I've seen?
That's it. I was going to say, that's the beginning. That's not the highlight. Well, you know, I was in New York recently, and, you know, Broadway is all different now. Broadway is not the same anymore. It's all about the sexual frontier on Broadway. You have to have some kind of sexual exploration, personal journey that took you to a sexuality no one's ever seen before, and you're out there for 3 hours. But I love the titles of the new shows. That's what's funny to me. Subject matter's a little crazy, but I saw one of the titles. It was called fantastic. It was sold out. By the way, you can't even get a ticket to this. Called 2 Penises and 1 Ball, an anatomical, comical look at 2 Siamese twins trying to find love and sex. I'm in. You know what? I scalped a ticket. I'm not.
And how was it?
Huh? Well, it was very half fulfilling. It was very half fulfilling. The other half was unfulfilled all the way.
All title and no depth, huh?
Well, that's it. It was all sack and no ball. You know what I mean? It's if you're gonna have a sack that big, you got to put 2 balls in there, buddy. The audience is feeling left out. Anyway,
do you get hung up, Ed? Do you get hung up on like if you meet a guy who's dressed as a woman and they're trying to expect? Do you like? I don't know. I'm asking you because like some of my friends are like, I won't do it. I will not call them a woman.
Oh,
and my opinion is, I don't care.
You know, whatever they want to be called. Now, this is a true story. When I'm 11 years old, I go to a big family reunion, but not my family. It's my best friend on the block. And I'm going to get to hang out all day, food. So they got 2 trannies in the family. They get 2 of them, and they are not well-shaven. They are not perfect with everything. But they're all full of red velvet and high heels and pocketbooks and lipstick and the whole thing. So I say to Garrett, I go, Garrett. And he goes, don't worry about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, it's all right. Just they've been around the family forever. So I go home to my parents and I go, you know, I was over there. She's wearing red velvet. She's got a beard like Daddy. What is that? And my mother says, you don't have to worry about that. That's and somebody else. And that was it. I never pressed it. Don't worry about that, was what I was told. And it turns out they were right. I did not have to worry about that.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Turns out I've had better relationships with my gay friends than I've had with a lot of my straight friends.
Absolutely. You know, again, when I was in high school, we were in Greenwich Village all the time. You know, I told a guy, here's what happened. We got to wrap it up in a minute, but I'll just quickly.
Sure.
We're in New York last weekend, and Matt Nagan produced the show on Sunday. I produced the show on Monday. So he says to me, he says like this, he goes, you know, I didn't know it was Gay Pride Parade Day. I said, what are you talking about? It's the biggest gay pride thing in the history of the planet. New York City, Greenwich Village. So I said to him at the time, I said, you know, I was around before Stonewall. That's how far back I go. There wasn't even, no one said gay. Gay had not been invented yet. Homosexual and this and that and Truman Capote and Paul Lynde and all this was, you know. So, yeah, man, I think... the only line I had, you know, you said before you got a line about, everybody's got a line about something. I'm in Italy and a guy walks in. Oh, he goes, I'm from Seattle. And no, my friend says, you got to meet this guy from Seattle, blah, blah, blah. A guy walks up to me. Oh, he goes, hi, I'm Lorenzo. I'm gay. And as he puts his hand out, he pulls his shorts out of his ass crack with the same hand.
Nice.
Okay, so now what am I doing? What do I say to him? Oh, by the way, I'm a heterosexual and don't touch me with any of your ass sweat? Do I say that to him a lot? So that's the world they're in. They're in a world, hey, have you met me? I'm exotic. I'm in the other world where, like, you know, you're not that exotic.
Right.
I've heard about you. It's all right. You're different, but you're not that exotic. You know, you're not like that.
What's the answer, Ed? Did you shake his hand?
Of course. Well, why? Because what am I going to do? The sanitizer is looking at me going, shake his hand and use me. Shake his hand and use me. What do you think I'm here for? I go, I said to the sanitizer, can you break down ass sweat? And not to be too, but, you know, it's gay ass sweat. So we're not just squeezing on pinching a loaf here. God only knows what's going on down there. Yeah, okay.
We're old enough to remember that gay sweat to them back in the day was like frog piss. You were going to get a wart.
Yeah, you know what else? I'll tell you what gay sweat is. It's Richard Simmons with that headband on.
By the way, one of my heroes, Richard Simmons. Absolutely one of my. When we do our exercise show at the Joke Joint on Joke Joint TV, it will be a Richard Simmons theme.
You are crazy. Well, that's good because, you know, he was in hiding for a long time, and then he came out of hiding. I know this because of TMZ. I watch TMZ every day.
All
right, listen, I love the Joke Joint. Love you. Saturday night we're there. Now, I'll tell you what. I'm not against trying to find time for another one of these podcasts to promote the show. I don't have anything off the top of my head. So I'll be in touch, let you know. But I'm talking it up I'm telling people to come up to Summerfield, Florida, and they're talking to me in Melbourne. They're talking to me in Palm Bay. They're talking to me the other day in Cocoa Beach. She says, where is it? I go, oh, it's just up the road. She goes, where? I go,
it's down the street.
Yeah, it's
Don't
just...
worry about it. Just type it into your GPS. The people who live here don't even know they live here. Don't even worry about it.
There you go. Exactly. Now, the last thing I got to ask you, is there a popular Publix that the locals love to go to? Where's your nearest Publix to the club?
Oh, Mulberry, right around the corner. Mulberry.
There you go. All right, so I might be making a surprise appearance at Publix. I've done this before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some postcards made with you on it. So for the flea market,
oh, cool.
I'll just order more and we'll get them out there and pass them out and put them. I mean, I always get in trouble because I go and put them on the windshield wipers.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Boy, I got so many people mad at me about that. The same people that come to the club and enjoy it, the mayor and all that stuff.
Of course, yeah. Don't put anything on my car. But I will tell you, when I have one of those handouts, flyers or whatever I got for a show, I like to go to Publix and go to the meat department and slide it in between the steaks. So they go to check it. They go to check a steak, and all of a sudden they go, "What? Comedy show?" Yeah. So Publix is a date. Saturday is also all the best. One last time, jokejoint.tv is the website.
Jokejoint.tv is the website.
The phone number?
Address is 13685 US 441 in Summerfield, Florida, and the phone number is 352-871-0909.
Fantastic. This has been a lot of fun, Alex. We're going to do this again, but thanks a lot for hanging around today.
I think if you do this 2 more times, I might get used to it. I'm still freaking out that I'm talking to you. Let's go.
Come on, everybody, and Tyll, and Tyll. Come on, everybody, and Tyll.